Today's review needs no introduction. We have Rosamonte. Rosamonte was started in 1936 by a family of Ukrainian immigrants and is now one of the most popular Argentine brands coming out of the Misiones region. I reviewed Rosamonte years ago, all the way back in 2017 on our website, and throughout the years I've had it every now and again. This is probably the fourth bag I've ever purchased. Since then though, I'm sure this yerba has gone through slight changes in taste, appearance, and smell, but without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting with the cut, Rosamonte has a very coarse cut, probably one of the coarsest Argentine yerbas I've ever come across. The leaves and palas are much larger than average. The leaves have a nice variation of color to them with light greens, dark greens, some with yellow tones, and even brown or black, but probably from the smoking or aging process. Palos range from small and thin to thick and large. Most of them have a off-white color to them, but you can find some that are the same color as the rest of the leaves. Powder here is very light, which is pretty typical of your Argentine brand, so preparation should be fairly easy here. That being said, let's move on to the nose. After shaking the bag and giving it a whiff, Rosamonte smells delicious. It's earthy, citrusy, woody, and you get a slight touch of smoke. There's also a very noticeable sweetness I didn't catch before when I first reviewed it, but the sweetness is similar to baked goods. Starting off strong, let's finally see how it tastes. I have our stainless steel set here, which you can find on yerbamatelab.com. Now that we have our mate set, let's get our first pour, which I'm brewing at 150 degrees Fahrenheit. When it comes to taste, Rosamonte tastes just how I remember. At the front, you get a smooth earthiness that leans more on the wet soil side. A little bit of woody floral tones are also very present. Citrus note is there on the back end and on the finish. I don't get much smokiness here, despite a lot of claims that Rosamonte is a very smoky mate, but that's my personal palate. Yours might differ. If you're a beginner especially though, it might be a lot more noticeable. But overall, Rosamonte is very smooth, slightly sweet, not too strong, but there is enough to give you a good amount of flavor. But the bitterness, to me at least, is not too harsh. Texture wise, Rosamonte is a light to medium body. There's a slight creaminess on the first few pours, but it quickly washes away and becomes watery for the rest of the mate. This yerba is, however, pretty astringent. A dry mouth sensation can be felt after every sip. I personally hate astringency, but Rosamonte's not strong enough to push me away. Where Rosamonte lacks, though, is its cycle. It doesn't really last long. In this gourd, I'm only able to get about a little more than half a liter, and strength-wise, it also takes a pretty noticeable dip around the third or fourth pour. If you want something that's going to last, this probably won't be the yerba for you. Now when it comes to effect, Rosamonte is a beast. This yerba will slowly creep up on you and hit you before you even know it. To me, there's a delayed response after taking my first sip. It's not until I get into about the fourth refill that I finally notice it's already kicked in. Stimulation is pretty strong, but never overboard. It has that signature floaty head feeling that I'm pretty sure we've all experienced before, where you feel super zoned in but alert at the same time. Now to recap, despite Rosamonte being an incredibly popular brand in Argentina, I never felt the need to come back to it. Nothing about this yerba really pulls me in. Taste-wise, it's a safe yerba to go with, especially if you're a beginner. It's smooth, easy to enjoy, and not too bitter to scare you away. But personally, I wouldn't be coming back to this brand. I'm looking for yerbas with more complexity and uniqueness in taste. Rosamonte is not complex at all. What you get in the beginning is what you'll get all the way to the end. However, it is unique in taste though. I haven't tasted many brands like Rosamonte, and I've tried over 70 of them. But that's all for this yerba. Let me know what you think of it. Of course, this is just my opinion and my experience. Also, don't forget to head to yerbamatelab.com to find all our reviews, tutorials, gourds, bombillas, and more.